I thought about doing this video many times, and I'm actually getting to it. Um, why living alone beats anything. Like, just living alone is priceless. In fact, if I look at it, I've been living alone since the age of 28. And if you're new to my channel, I'm 49 years old. Yes, I am 49 years old. I'm almost a few months away from the big 50. And I didn't say 29. I didn't say 29, I said 49. So that's the reality of the situation. I do a lot of videos about walking, intermittent fasting, the carnivore diet lifestyle, martial arts, resistance, weight training, sleep. So everything that goes into a wellness life, I talk about, I preach it, I breathe it, I live it. A lot of people don't believe my age. Well, that's a great thing. On a good sleep day, I still get carded, yada, yada, yada. Now that you've seen it, I've done a lot of videos on the channel that speaks about all the good life, right? But a lot of these habits I garnered when I started cooking for myself, right? And I realized at an early age, I didn't always have these good habits because I was once upon a time a 27, 28-year-old guy that finally had his own place, an apartment complex. Very turmoil childhood, and how I got there, that was a big deal. So for me to have a place, I could barely afford rent when I started too, but I knew that I was going to find a way out. Gosh, this is motivating for me to hear myself as I talk about it. And I've never looked back since. I've lived with 3 of my ex-girlfriends back to back to back, meaning that we shared my place. So, when you're a bachelor, they spend the night at your place, right? So some of them were staying with me for 3 days, 4 days a week, and I'm not complaining, but it was a great way for me to test out what it's really like living with my significant other, with my girlfriend or potential wife to be at that time. At least I used to think I'd end up marrying one of them. It was the best decision to marry no one, and I just started feeling this sense of suffocation eventually when they would stay more than 3-4 days, is because I started realizing that you don't want to be around someone 24/7, 24 hours. You lose the spark, you lose the zest, you lose attraction, believe it or no, and you start looking at other women and other things, right? You start getting attracted to and pulled towards what you don't have any longer. And so for me, I would say what backfired during those times, and I always knew this because it was a repetitive cycle, is that, on my third one, actually, the third girlfriend, she was a single mom. I was a stepfather once upon a time. And I knew when I was signing that lease, and I caught her on a rebound too, because she was just coming off a horrible marriage and a horrible breakup. And the baby was a 2-year-old girl, and lo and behold, there was a missing chapter in my life. And the minute I held her in my arms, that thing just took over me, and something happened. I became a better person, a better man, but it's just all for the wrong reasons. I didn't have enough life experiences, believe it or no. I myself, you would think, right? At least it is about mid-30s, late 30s. That relationship was all done when I turned 40. So turning 40 for me was a very eventful time in my life, very depressing. That's when my anxiety was at its all-time high, and I didn't know what anxiety was. And every day I used to experience panic attacks because of the thought of not knowing what it is, and I didn't know how to manage it. And then I finally discovered breathing and the breath control, and how that actually impacts anxiety and whatnot. So all of that, to just kind of give you perspective, all my relationships were very, very turmoil, crazy women, they're all the same, like, essentially. It doesn't matter how hot they are or how mediocre they are, they're all the same. At the core of it, they are all the same. So, of course, I can say this is because I'm nearly 50, so I've seen a lot in my life, and even the girl I'm dating right now, exactly the same as my last one. Except for the one I'm dating right now. If you've seen my channel, she's from Colombia. We met in Vegas a year and a half ago. We don't fight as much, which is a good thing. Of course, why don't we fight as much, right? Fighting is a good thing. And some may say, yeah, I think a healthy argument really is a good thing. Otherwise, how else do you get to know each other, right? And conflict resolution, conflicts, they expose a lot and tell a lot about people, how you handle the good times. It's not always a garden of roses all the time, right? So here's the irony of this one is while I'm a lot older, she is 29 now. We still have a significant age difference, which is okay, but we look good together. Um, and I get carded more than she does, actually. So go figure, right? uh, um, and I get carded not because of her. I get carded, period, whether she's with me or not with me. So now I don't live with this girl. We barely see each other. I would say we see each other once every week, once every 2 weeks. Um, it's kind of up and down. But when we do meet, it's Vegas, right? She has a night shift. She's a server, busser, all those things. I've made lots of videos about us. Find it on my channel somewhere, right? But we're still together. At the end of the day, when I examine this relationship and my past relationships, uh, the difference here is a bunch of dogs like going at it, folks. Let me have them finish. Let me have their fill. The owner can't do anything about these dogs here. So, yeah, there's three of them. But hey, I have a small dog, so I empathize. Like, anyway, so I haven't lived. I don't live with her. Versus my other relationships, all of them I used to live with them. With this chick, with this girl, I know for a fact that if I lived with her, this would all be downhill because I already see the flags, the red flags of why I'm not moving her in. And no, I'm not gonna get married. Although last year I thought during the holiday season this was it. Potentially it could be for a few more years, but now I'm just taking it day to day. And I love my space for all these reasons is because a lot of us jump into relationships and move them in, right? Whatever your preference is, right? But I'm just talking about a traditional relationship, guy, girl, girl, guy, right? When you move in, I quickly start hating myself. I start resenting that decision is because it may be good for the first few days, maybe the first week, a month tops, but deep down inside, when you have your alone time and when you run to the store, when you run to the bathroom, when you're in the shower, when you can't wait to get out of the house, you dread coming back home. That's a sign that you are not meant to be under one roof. Now, if there was an emergency, yes, I would definitely try to make things happen so that we are together, but it wouldn't last. Like, all of our roommates, yeah, all of my girlfriends at some point it started feeling like roommates. Like it wasn't necessary for me to have them there all the time, all the single time. Like now, guy talk, right? And I'm sure this applies to females too. You want to walk around naked sometimes, right? You come out of the shower, you just want to walk around, stretch your balls, right? And wear your underwear, just taking phone calls in that. Sometimes, in the bathroom, you just leave the door open. My dog's there, she sees everything. You just have the freedom, and knowing that you just have that freedom to do whatever the hell you want to doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a realistic person because you are in tune with yourself. And if you have lived alone for like I have for 20 plus years, you're not going to change that for anyone else. I'm sorry. I love my peace. I love my solitude. I spend a lot of time alone doing just this because isn't this what life is about? Like self-discovery. And a lot of us do not even get to that beautiful point in life where you're fully alive. I don't think anyone ever fully unlocks 100% of them, but I have come close to unlocking most of me, and I think there's a lot more to go. And you don't need another person to bring that out in you, if that makes sense. And for you can't keep her happy. You cannot keep her happy. As a man, I don't think you can keep a woman happy. That's just my opinion. I've seen this happen way too many times. if you spend your life and your purpose and center it around her, you're going to fail epically. And even living together, because she's going to require a lot of attention. And no matter what you do, and I've experienced all of this, no matter what you do, she's going to find the next best option to jump off. At some point, it's going to happen. So you don't want to be the guy that ends up being the rescue guy. You don't want to be that guy. And I've done all of these things. It's backfired. It doesn't matter how good of a boyfriend. I've been a wonderful boyfriend in my relationships. Not perfect, but for the most part, I am low stress, low key. My requirements are not very uh, out of reach. I'm just saying don't eat like crap, right? Maintain your weight, watch your physique, dress nice, smell nice, and don't argue with me too much. Is because I don't give you a hard time. I didn't argue. 90% of the fights they pick. 90% of the time, it's almost like things are going so well. It's like they gotta take a stab and take a shit on whatever good is going in their lives, and they just can't leave it alone, right? And so they're all miserable. When I look at all my exes, except maybe one, the exception of one. She's got 3 kids, a husband's already passed. I mean, she's had a rough life. We dated twice in my lifetime. Um, man, some stories I got, uh, but most of my exes are not happy. I mean, it's a reflection, right, on the health. When you see them and how they present themselves, you can easily tell that I made the right decision. Is because none of them, with this exception of the one I'm mentioning, is took care of their health. They don't. They basically let themselves go. The weight gain is real. The weight gain is real. You lose attraction, right? All of these things are going to show its hand over time, over a period of 5-7 years. There's a lot of changes that can happen, right? Physiological changes in your body too, right? So I know there's this saying that it's a manipulation tactic. My mother used to say this, and I've heard a lot of folks say this, like, okay, well, you need a companion if something ever happens. Like, okay, well, if something ever happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, you know, there are services you can pay, right? There are in-home healthcare systems. Your insurance may cover some of it, right? But there are other avenues. And in today's unstable society that we live in terms of career path, the corporate culture, there's so many side gigs that are out there that people are actually wanting to come in, watch your home, or clean your place, or take care of you, run errands. These things are really are real. These things are out there. So no, I wouldn't agree that you necessarily need someone. I mean, worst case situations is not scenarios. Yes. What I cannot fathom is that if I need to go somewhere and if I need to be somewhere, and a lot of times I'm really nowhere but just within myself and my space. I even have a gym inside my place. I have a creative studio in my place for YouTube content. Is asking someone's permission, and then they are waiting for me to get home, because all of a sudden they don't have anything to do but wait for me to arrive home, and then their life begins. And I'm going to let you down 100% of the time, is because I need you to be busy. So my current girlfriend, meaning I need you to be busy. I need you to be living your life. I need you to have some hobbies. That doesn't mean go see other guys or go do this and, you know, be promiscuous. What I'm saying is that you gotta have other things going in your life than making me your primary. You know what I mean? And I'm guilty too. I have done this 100%. I have stopped. I've hit periods of my life where I've just stopped working out. Not fully, but I haven't been as consistent. I have felt like my freedom was restricted, and you know, I've just like to keep my options open. I don't think anything is forever. This is where I think that you have to be realistic in terms of your partners, and realizing, I'm gonna cut this video here. Okay, yeah, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Daylight saving 6 o'clock, which is it's kicking up a notch. But you know, your partners in life, marriages evolve over time, right? You're going to lose attraction, and I don't really believe in the forever after. on this final conclusive notes here is that my current girlfriend, we don't like seeing each other. I may like seeing her a little bit more. I won't lie, and partly because I'm a little wiser, I'm a little older. I do like the companionship. I haven't had this companionship in quite some time, so it's been a year and a half. We don't know where this goes, but I like I do like seeing her. She doesn't fight with me. She's a little spotty in terms of when she shows up, when she doesn't, when she responds to my text, when she doesn't. I kind of match the same energy. It works. I'm not sweating it. I would before, but now I just pick my battles. Like, if you want to be here, that's great. We'll have a great time. If you don't want to be here, I'm not going to really chase you. That's the mentality I have. At the end of the day, I only have me. End of the day, I have myself, and you become so powerful in solitude, and you build yourself. Your mind expands so much more outside of just you. It's always you versus you, and every year, every day, every month, as time, it's always you versus you. And the journey of unlocking the best version of you requires you to be alone. Maybe not forever, maybe for seasons, but for the most part, I personally, at this age where I stand today, love my space. Especially, I'm in Las Vegas. I can pick up and leave, go to a casino, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, not to gamble, but just to absorb the ambiance, the lights. I love the Vegas lights. I love everything this place has to offer. This was my dream life, and I'm living it now. So, going to the sports bars and just watching sports in the morning, right? I'm not much of a drinker these days. For fun, sure, but yeah. So if I didn't cover it enough, I love my space. I love my solitude. I don't like anyone else living in my space. I just don't operate my best. If you're with me, if you can relate and add your 2 cents, go ahead and do so. There's no such thing as loneliness. If you're looking at someone else to fulfill that, you're gonna be let down 100% of the time. If you're feeling lonely, that means there's something lacking inside of you that you haven't faced. Now is the time to do so by living alone and choosing that path, and you'll be surprised how beautiful that path is. Okay? To the next video. Mamba out.